Hello everyone! Welcome to my plant tour for spring of 2021. Because I have nothing else going on in my life right now. So, let's get started. Let's start right here on my nightstand. As you can see, there's actually a grow light in that lamp there. Here we have a Nepenthe, which is one of the many I have. I just got this plant yesterday. It was sent to me from California Carnivores for free actually, so I can review it on TikTok, believe it or not. And it was like $30. It is, I know the hybrid was a Listoracoides, but the exact hybrid is this. Nepenthe Ramsey Spina cross a Listolacoides, if I pronounced that right. Right here next to it, I have another plant I got from California Carnivores for free yesterday. This here is Dracaena Marchinata, if I pronounced that right, or the Lance Leaf Sundew. Right next to it here, we have my most expensive plant, which is the Nepenthe Sibulances cross Truncata I got from Carnivoro almost a year ago for like $80 or $90. Trust me, I don't spend that much money on plants for some reason. My parents are just really controlling on how much money I spend on plants. Next to it right here, I have a Scindapsus pictus, which I really like. Like, nothing too special about it, just a regular Scindapsus pictus, but I really like the sparkly leaves. It almost look like they're silver, which is why it's often called silver vines, too. Next up, we have my desk. Right here, the really cool Marantha Lupine, if I pronounce that right. Sorry if I butchered the name. Well, what I like about it are the black spots here, plus the leaves move, and the black spots feel almost like velvet. Next up right here, I have a Begonia Rex Cultivar. I don't know what variety it is, but I really like it because if you shine the light on it correctly, which it isn't right now, some of it appears blue almost. This here is my sad Cebu Blue Pothos. Like, this is a cutting I got on a plant swap several months ago and it hasn't even grown. Right here is some really important Swedish Ivy. The reason the Swedish Ivy here is so important is because it's actually a clone of the plant that grows in the Oval Office of the White House, believe it or not. Right back there, we have a Calathea Rhubarb foil that's pretty sad right now, but hopefully it will bounce back and be beautiful again. And here is the first of my two major terrariums. There's some Pilea in there, some Peperomia, an air plant, some moss, and some Legenello Untitled, which I really like because it appears blue in the right light. Here's the sad Monstera Adansonia that I just took out of quarantine, but it has new growth everywhere, so I'm not too worried about it. Right here is the Lemon Lime Marantha, which I really like. Nothing too special about it, but it doesn't have any color, so it's pretty bland for a Marantha, I meant. Right here, the Raven ZZ cutting that's slowly beginning to grow. I got the cutting back in September, I think, or in August, I meant, actually. And it's only now beginning to grow. Right here is my Black Velvet Alocasia, which I got at a local plant swap shop called the Mason Jar, which I think is really cool. In fact, I checked their Instagram. They're actually getting Pink Princess today. If you live in the Kalamazoo, Michigan area, you should really go check them out. Right behind that is a Philodendron Birkin. Nothing too special about it, except that this newest leaf that's coming in is all white, which I'm a little concerned about and excited about at the same time. Because on one hand, this is really pretty, and on the other, it won't be producing chlorophyll for the plant, but it will hopefully turn green over time like the other leaves do. And this big plant here is one of my favorites. It is Calathea Rhubarb. And what I like about it is that the leaves actually change color, like the underside of the leaves change color depending on how the light hits them, which I think is really cool. Plus, they feel like velvet. And like all other prayer plants, they move, which I really like as an added bonus. Right up here are a few Succulents. I forget what this is right here, but I think it's an Echeveria, but I can't be 100% sure. There used to be a string of dolphins in there, but it died because of neglect. Sorry about that. But there are still Succulents in there, so I might repot them and pot them out separately eventually. Here are my string of hearts I got from a plant friend at a plant swap several months ago, and they're growing like crazy, which I think is really good. And here is my Philodendron Macaulay's Finale. I got this plant in the Mason Jar too, and I like how the leaves come in like this almost orangish black color, and then they fade to green like the Philodendron Birkin, which I think is really cool. Now let's move on to the shelves right here. Here we have a Legenello Crocianna, or at least I think it's a Crocianna. This guy needs it humid and he likes it wet. I went away for a week to go to Florida a few weeks ago, and I left this guy, and when I came back, he was almost dead, but fortunately he's still alive, so I'm going to keep him. Next up, I have this Stromathy Trio Star, which I absolutely love. I absolutely love how the pink undersides of the leaves show in the upsides of the leaves, like especially when light hits them. Here's my sad spider plant. It was almost dead a while ago, but now it's coming back, so that's an improvement. Here's my Oxalis Triangularis. I really like how this guy moves, and if you look closely after you touch the leaves, it's actually kind of a sensitive plant, as in the leaves will fold down a little bit when you touch them. Behind that, I have my sad Pilea peperomoides. I don't know what's wrong with it. Maybe it's not enough water. I might transplant it, I don't know, into a non-terracotta pot so it stays wetter longer. There's a dead plant right there that I need to get rid of. Sorry about that. This here is a variegated Hindu Robogun. I might have forget guess what? $10.99 or $10.90, I forget, but whatever. It was like cheap, $10 for this succulent pot. Normally nowadays, if you see a plant like this for sale, it's like $100 at least. So I'm really excited to have found this. I don't know what this plant right here is, so if anyone knows what it is, can they please tell me in the comments below. Back there, I have a desert rose that's coming right out of dormancy, as you can see with the leaves. Back there is my crown of thorns, my peppermint candy crown of thorns I got at Logi's. I also got this at Logi's. I got a lot of the plants here at Logi's actually. Here's another dead spider plant, unfortunately. There's my Janet Craig Dracaena that I'm surprised is still alive, especially considering that I never water it. Granted, the lower leaves did die, but I'm surprised it's still alive actually. Right here, I have my Thanksgiving cactus, I think. That's not doing good, but I put it flag potted so it doesn't fall over and gets more water, so hopefully it will recover. Right there is my ZZ plant, nothing that special about it. Right here, I have a succulent arrangement I made, which is one of a few I made. In it, I have a Haworthia cooperi, a variegated oxus tongue. What's this again? I think it's a euphorbia, another euphorbia, and a pencil cactus, and some dead watch chain plants, unfortunately. Another succulent arrangement back there with a pencil euphorbia and a few other plants. There are some African spears right there. I really like the sculptural look there because they're almost like a living sculpture, believe it or not. And I really like the aesthetic of that. Right here's another desert rose I got from Logi's. I really like this one because this one is supposed to produce black flowers. So I'm really excited about that this summer. Right there is my starfish plant. It's the kind that produces those Karen flowers that look like starfish. They're really cool. I don't really haven't had a flower before, but just searched it up on Google Images and it looks pretty cool. It's like red, star-shaped, and almost succulent-like flower. Right there is my Begonia Bingo Pink, which is my first trending tropicals I got from Lowe's. And probably my only one if I can remember correctly. Right there is my shrimp plant, which I'm really excited to flower sometime in the future. Like, I know it likes bright light, but this is as bright as I can really give it. Back behind it is a large Haworthia cooperi and a Jade plant. There used to be a baseball euphorbia in that pot too, but it rotted away, unfortunately. I don't know why. This here is my second major terrarium that I'm about to show you right now. Right there is what remains of a Begonia parvaniana I got from a follower on TikTok, which I think is pretty cool, but it died back after it got really bad conditions. But I see green on it down there, so I still have hope for it. Like, see it down there? Like, I still have a lot of hope for it. There's a watermelon begonia in there. I don't think it's actually a begonia, but I could be wrong. And there's a Legenello Uncinata there. I think that right there is a Legenello Crocianna. I don't know what kind of Legenello that is. Right there is my Calathea Dottie that loves it in there. There is some really cool Legenello down there. I forget what it's called, but I really like it. It has almost a red appearance. And I really like it, and it's really cool. Trust me. I got it from Hertz, in case you're wondering. I didn't get it. Another follower got it from me from Hertz. Right there is my Philodendron and Micans I've had for a while that's finally producing a new leaf after all these months, which I'm really, really excited about, and hopefully it will continue to grow. And there's another Legenello right there that I forget the name of, but I think it's pretty cool because it almost looks like a tree with vines coming down within the moss. Like, it's producing aerial roots that are going down in the moss, which I think is pretty cool. And that's about it for my terrariums. Here's a telegraph plant cutting I managed to root. Funny story, I tried rooting a telegraph plant cutting first earlier, like I think in August or September, but that failed. But when I tried to root it in water, I rooted this one in water, I rooted the first one in soil. And this one actually rooted, which I'm really proud of, and I hope to maybe like sell these one day. I can propagate from rooted cuttings, which I'm really excited about. Right there is my Nepenthe Sibulances cross Merliliana, which I think is pretty cool. It will eventually get massive pitchers, well over a foot long, because both parents produce large, tubby pitchers. Right there is the Begonia parvaniana leaf cutting I'm trying to root, that I hope roots eventually. This is more like a final resort, like in case that one in the terrarium dies. There's my Huriana Sabrina Lifesaver plant I got from Logi's. There's my grafted moon cactus I got from Lowe's, which I think is really cool because eventually they can potentially form a Crimea eventually. And I really hope that happens. Right there is a Saccharon that also recently got out of quarantine. That's looking pretty sad, but I see new growth on it, so hopefully it will be okay. And back there is my Angel's Trumpet plant. Well, technically it's my parents' Angel's Trumpet that they got at the trip to Logies a few years ago. And it hasn't really grown much, but I see new growth on it, and it likes it cool, so I'm going to keep it down here even in the summer. Right here is my Dracaena Marchinata, which I think is pretty cool, and I think it will eventually get even cooler as it gets bigger. Down there is a golden pothos that looks pretty sad. There's a really sad fiddly fig right there. I think I over-fertilized it, or it's not getting enough light, but I don't know. Hopefully it will recover eventually. And there's a Monstera Delicioso that desperately needs to be trimmed back, which I think I'll trim it back probably this spring, like later in the next, like within the next few weeks probably. Because I think it needs a lot of trimming. Plus it's getting lanky, so that's why I think it needs trimming. And last but not least, my grow tent. This right here is my Hoya Carrii that's variegated that I got from Logies on my trip a few years ago. This here is one of my telegraph plant seedlings that I grew from seed. This right here is one of my favorite plants in here, my Ficus elastica Taniki. I really like the variegation on this. It almost looks like camouflage in my opinion. Right here, we have a starfruit tree seedling right here that I grew from seed from a plant I got at the store. Like, starfruit's probably my favorite fruit, plus the leaves move when touched, not like a sensitive plant, so that's an added bonus. I have two more telegraph plant seedlings right here that aren't doing that good. Here is my cephalotus that's coming back after dying back, fortunately. Like, it died back because I think it got too cold on the window, so I moved it in here, and now it's growing back, and it's doing amazing, believe it or not. Right here are my two Nepenthe Mirandas. Nepenthe Miranda are some of my favorite Nepenthes because not only do they produce huge pitchers up to a foot long, but they're also somewhat readily available in grocery stores and big box stores and nurseries. Here's a pitcher right here that's small because there isn't enough light in here to produce big pitchers. Right down there I have a sad orchid cactus and a sad parlor palm that I hope come back. Right there is one of my rattlesnake Calatheas. And Calathea White Fusion that I hope is dormant. I'm only keeping it because I've had Calathea die back like that and come back, so I hope it comes back from dormancy. If it doesn't, I'll probably just throw it away. Here is my other Clavia Lancifolia. Well, technically it should be Gepertia. All Calathea in here should technically be Gepertia, actually. Here are some variegated Hindu robe cuttings I'm trying to propagate. Here are the Calathea Zabrinica that's coming out of dormancy too. Like, this is why I said not to throw away your Calatheas that might look dead, because they might just be dormant, which is why I'm keeping that Calathea White Fusion. Down here I have a miracle fruit plant. The cool thing about this plant is that in the summer it should produce berries that are the size of gumdrops, and when you eat them they make everything taste sweet, like even bitter and sour things. Right here is probably my favorite plant at the moment, the telegraph plant, Rhocoderia Calx motoris. If I can just zoom in here, you might be able to see the leaves, those little leaflets there actually move. Down there is a sad Marantha Lupine red form. That's actually one I got at Myers several years ago, but it's died back multiple times. In fact, I almost threw it away because it looked dead before I knew that it actually went into dormancy. Up here is my mom's sad Triscantia plant. Like, what I really like about it is its sparkly iridescent leaves like this. Next to it is my Nepenthe Ventrata that hasn't produced any pictures in a while, but I hope it will this summer. This is one of my first Nepenthes I got over 3 years ago, and it's still alive, believe it or not. Like, most people, they probably kill this kind of plant in like a year, but I have some that I have for like 3 or 4 years. Speaking of which, although this one right here might not look that good, it actually has like a little shoot coming down there, if you can see that. So I have a lot of hope for it. Next to that is a vanilla orchid that actually had a broken stem, but I'm keeping it because I'm hoping it will grow back. And there's a dead Nepenthes right there that I hope comes back, but I might throw it away soon. And that's about it for my 2021 plant tour. If you liked this video, please leave a like, comment down below, and if you didn't like this video, dislike it, and tell me what I did wrong and how I can improve it.